Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hopefully you're having a good Wednesday evening. So we're gonna do a quick little static video. We're gonna look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. We'll look at Tron, and we'll also look at gold. But before we get started on all this, because as I've mentioned, multiple times on our stream, I formed this cryptocurrency community not just for trading ideas and stuff, but it's really for the community aspect. And part of it is some of it, a lot of it, most of it is cryptocurrency, but a lot of it is just to have a supportive environment. Um, Not gonna lie, I kind of bawled my face off the last 15 minutes. It took me a minute to get this video, but you know how close I am to dogs. Uh, but one of our Discord members, Marcel, his dog Cooper passed away unexpectedly. So he's probably grieving and he might not answer, but he needs to know when we're ready or he's ready, um, or even if he's not, he needs to know that there's a community that's there to support him, when and if he's ready to ever talk about it. Um, I'm really close to my animals and, I have an emotional support dog myself and I could never imagine something like that happening, at least right now. So if you could please just, whether you private message him or put something on the general board, just showing your support for him. Um, I guarantee would greatly appreciate it. Gotta shake it off. It's really kind of shook me. I'm really close to my animals. Um, so, but getting back onto Bitcoin, uh, our current price on Bybit's 10,172. Um, we're holding this pretty decent support box here at 10,050. The price movement it's been just really stagnant. Really hasn't been the greatest. Um, but right now we're trying to hold this 10,150 area, and we seem to be butting up resistance at the top of this support box, and it's honestly looking like, especially if you zoom in here, the top of this box, which is at about 10,250 really. It is, it's really the 10.2 to 10,250 is really starting to flip is resistance. If you put your moving averages on, you can clearly see it here on the 4-hour. We're below all of our major moving averages. So for the time being, I think this is what's kind of holding Bitcoin down. But some good news is we have our EMA 100 that's at the bottom of our support box, which is at 9,750 to 9,800. And if we zoom in here, you can actually see, let's get our moving averages off. Well, I guess we have to look at it because we're looking at the EMA 100. Give me just a second, guys. We're really sitting at about 9,850. And if you put your fib retracement, I don't remember if it's at if you're looking at the trend as a whole, you want to put it at around 3,100, the low we made. I think it was like in December or January. But I've seen different people put them at like 74, 75. I've also seen some people put it at 9,000. I can't remember which one it is, but it's at 9,900, the 618 is. So, and you can see it's obviously a level of importance because we've hit it and we've had multiple bounces off of it. And from our prior dip down here, remember how it was at like 9,650, 9,700? Well, the longer your price action is up, the higher that thing's going to climb. So I'm fairly confident that there's really nice support between 9,800 and 9,900. If the dip is to occur, the volume's been really stagnant. And as I talked about on our live stream today, because literally nothing's changed. Honestly, the last 3 streams, Bitcoin wise, nothing has changed. From the MACD perspective, market cipher B, you are showing lower levels of bullish momentum. No, nothing. I mean, literally, I know I keep saying it, but there's just nothing has changed on Bitcoin. The only thing that I'm starting to notice now is the selling pressure. Whoa, sorry, my coffee cup was in the way. But your selling pressure is increasing in this right shoulder now. Remember how we were like this yesterday? And I was like, hey, whenever we start having a flat top like this, we generally seem to shoot out and make a bigger side. Well, it looks like that's maybe what's occurring. If we look here at the 1 hour, the 1 hour doesn't actually look too bad on Bitcoin. But I don't want to get too excited with this because it's probably not changing that much because the price action there hasn't been enough price movement to move anything from a momentum standpoint. Uh, maybe it's that whole saying that, what is it, the turtle wins the race. Maybe that's what's going to happen. And another thing we were showing, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 lower levels of bearish momentum, but you're just really in the red here. So maybe we can have an XRP. Even an XRP was much more pretty. Nice, or pretty. It's much better looking, it was, and it was on the daily. So this is just on the 1 hour. So maybe Bitcoin can have some positive price action, but as long as we're below all of our major moving averages, it's hard for me to get very bullish on it yet. But while Bitcoin's holding stagnant, the altcoins are running, and that's what we're about to get to. So to sum up, Bitcoin, you have really nice support here at about 10,050. It looks like we're trying to hold 10,150 as our new support here. And if you're looking at resistance, the top of our support box, we're now below it, and it's very clear that really between 10.2 and 10,250 is resistance now. So if we stay under this and we close today, which is actually here in about the next 30 minutes, below 10,250 or at least 10.2, I'm going to move this box down and we're going to flip the top portion of this to resistance. But if you're looking for more of a technical resistance, it's at 10.2, 10,250, and then our 10.3 right here. And then, of course, right above at 10.4 where we struggled on our prior jump with 10,050 being support, and then your 10,150 that we're trying to form support at now. Let's check out Ethereum. As we talked about, I want to say it was earlier this week, but Ethereum was showing a lot of signs of a really nice move. You can see here that we showed 1, 2, and then 3 basically lower waves of bearish momentum. So we were showing lower levels of selling pressure. So you can see here our first level of resistance we're kind of struggling at right now, which is $215. So for a support standpoint, it looks like we're trying to hold $210 is our new short-term support, just like Bitcoin's at 10,150. But if you're looking for more of a technical support that has more data backing it, it's actually the area that I thought was going to be a little bit more difficult. But we actually kind of sliced right through it, which is 200 and 205. Now, what does Ethereum have besides its price action? What else does this represent? For especially the newcomers that haven't been in cryptocurrency since 2017, I got here in January. I mean, literally, it was about January 2017. I got into cryptocurrency full time. Being said, I got to experience. I noticed a huge shift that I am starting to see now. Eventually, Bitcoin kind of settled down, and you saw Ethereum start pumping, and then XRP ran immediately after. Well, guess what we're seeing now? We're about to get to XRP next. Ethereum has completely separated itself from Bitcoin. XRP has now separated itself from Bitcoin, and now the altcoins are running. I don't want to get too excited yet, but we look like we could be showing signs of maybe a altcoin season. So, I'm really excited for that. That would be really awesome. Take it from someone that traded it. Use altcoins as a trading vehicle to accumulate more Bitcoin. Do not hold these as support. If you start seeing Ethereum tanking and then the altcoins tanking, or start losing a lot of this momentum in Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin's probably going to lead the pack. I would be cutting the losses fairly quick. The reason being is this could be just a giant fake out. We got false optimism. People kind of jumped the gun. We've been waiting 2 years, really almost, for an altcoin season. It's really been since like that November 2017, December 2017, and I guess a little bit of January. And then the bear market really took off. So altcoin season could be here. So fingers crossed. We have for resistance here, we have $215 with your next area of resistance at around $225, with the top of this being at $235. Remember though, if you break $235, I have a price target from $250 to $265. You have short-term support at $210. You have more technical, stronger support at $205 and $200. And looking at market cipher, it looks like there's a little bit of selling pressure starting to creep in, but it's perfectly normal. You can see here, it looks like we tried rounding this off and now we're building a little bit deeper. So maybe Ethereum goes back to 205. And honestly, I really wouldn't mind it because, if you're looking at the really short term, this is like that right shoulder I was telling you about where it looks like we're about to make a flat top. And then all of a sudden, man, my coffee cup's in the way. But how it kind of looks like we're about to make a similar dip and then we're going to move back. Well, I've noticed lately we start this trend. It looks like we're about to round it and then we make a huge, right shoulder. So, but, that 200 to 205 range is where I'm going to be looking for a dip. And, we already went over the support and resistances. So here's the next one I wanted to talk about. If you're trying to find areas of resistance and support on XRP, or areas like if you missed this run up, I've talked about this in great detail. Yes, you were going to miss out on extra runs. Now, granted, I did not think this was going to happen, but this is also a possible sign of altcoin season with Ethereum. I mentioned multiple times, we don't have to come back and directly test this box, like right on the dot. And actually, this box needs to actually creep up a little bit. Let's go up here on the 4-hour. I don't actually have this right at 30 cents because this might actually make a little bit more sense. There you go, 30 cents. That's what I wanted to have it at. So if we go back to our closer time frames, you can see here, we've literally just about came and back tested 30 cents. So maybe this was the opportunity and maybe I missed it. We'll see. But I really wanted to see, have we closed a daily over it yet? All right, so this should actually be the first day we're officially over 30 cents. Maybe we did it yesterday. I'll double check. But, XRP, if Bitcoin's not going to fall, I would be looking for maybe a 30-cent back test and then maybe entering. But just know if you're looking for areas to sell, this was very strong resistance over here. It held for literally about 2 weeks before we tumbled. 32.5 cents. It's going to be no joke. Insane resistance there. But you're looking very good here on Market Cipher B. We've talked about this. I actually had a video before this actually ran. I was saying XRP looks like it could just absolutely explode, and it did. When you are showing this amount of lower levels of selling pressure, you're showing 1, 2, and then 3 trigger waves. Sorry, I know those weren't accurate. And you're this in the red, you can have violent moves to the upside. And that's exactly what XRP had. So you have major support at 30 cents and 28 cents. Your first area of resistance is at 32.5. And if you break 32.5, I have a price target of 35 to 38 cents. So we're going to look at Tron, just because it's kind of the one I'm watching right now like a hawk. I know what people are going to say, oh, it's a crap coin, whatever. This is my strategy, guys, going into altcoin season if it starts. Don't pick projects that did nothing in the bear market, that basically kind of fell apart, the development screwed up. You want altcoins that had a strong development team that never stopped working. They diligently worked through the entire bear market. They have a strong, supportive community that was there through the entire bear market, and they never gave up. You don't want these communities that they're just not there, or they have very little communities, or development teams that basically were non-existent in the bear market. I'm not touching those. I don't care if they go up 3,000%. I'm not touching them. So my strategy is, in this altcoin market, I'm going to look at altcoins that have, 1, strong development like a team of developers, and I want to see a strong community backing these currencies. With those two things in hand, I'm sorry guys, I know I'm probably going to take heat on this. Tron is one of them. You like it or not, they have a very supportive and passionate community. It's almost like a cult-like following like Tesla, I swear. And they have a lot of utility because, once again, I come from the dApp space. I say I come from it. I'm a part of the dApp space. Tron has a huge ecosystem. Granted, a lot of them were scams, but Tron has a lot of dApps. So, if you like the dApp space, I highly recommend checking Ethereum out. They were the ones that really innovated it. EOS, the Chinese bot coin, that's what I call it. Tron, Steam. Steam has a really good community. It's not so much the dApp space, but like Chainlink has a really strong, supportive community. There's probably some I'm missing, guys, but you get the point. You want altcoins that have a strong development team, a passionate development team that never gave up, that kept working even though everything was down 90%, and you want a community that never left. Tron fits the bill. So, if you break 180 Satoshis here, I'm sorry, if you break this like 185 Satoshi mark, you can see where it's actually about 182 if you really wanted to be like, really specific. Let's go on the 4-hour, maybe to look a little better. Yeah, so about 183. If you break 183, your next resistance, you're going to have a little bit of there's going to be a little bit of resistance between 195 and then your psychological 200, but I'm really going to be eyeing 220 Satoshis. And I'm telling you guys, if you break 220, you're going to have a little bit of resistance here at 240, where you can see these touch points right in through here. But I have a price target of Tron of 270 Satoshis right here. This is major. This is a very important line. I don't know if I can actually see it here on the daily. Should be. This is 270 Satoshis. Very strong. I put the warning to all my Tron friends in the dApp space. I was like, you need to get out of Tron. The moment 270 broke, I was like, it's going to get ugly. And that's exactly what happened. So you break 183 Satoshis. I'm going to be eyeing the 220 area, the 220 Satoshis. But just know there's going to be you could reverse to the downside if we can't break 195 to 200, because you do have some slight areas of confluence right in through here. If you're looking for areas of support, I'm going to be really looking at the 160 to maybe the 165 range. And if things get really ugly, once again, I really am confident if Bitcoin doesn't fall, Tron will hold 160 Satoshis. We're at 177 now. But I guess if it really wanted to get insanely ugly, we could actually go back down and tap 150. But if you want to look at it from a market cipher perspective, it's not a famous looking trigger wave, but you have a slightly lower level right in through here. Sorry guys, my mouse is kind of screwing up. I don't know why it keeps getting dirty, but you can see it here. Let's just make it easy. Let's get our trend line out. You can see it here, and do you see anything like reminiscent of? I mean, it's not as nice looking as XRP, but guys, look at this on the daily. Look how insanely red you are. Tron has a ton of room to move to the upside. Massive potential. And I wanted to bring this up to your attention. I know this was the ICO boom, where all these coins were pumping through the roof. Tron went live at 10 Satoshis, give or take. It literally had gains of 20,924%. So let's just say 21,000% gains. Love it or hate it, Tron has the potential to massively pump. And they have, obviously, you guys know Justin Sun. I'm not a huge fan of him personally, but he knows how to pump his coins. So, and they have a strong development team. They have a lot of money backing them, and they have a strong community. So this is going to be the ones we're going to look at. So, I'm going to be looking for about the 165 to 170 range for a dip to maybe add here. If it gets really ugly, and we break, the 160, this resistance box here should technically be green now because we're over it. But if we break that 160, 165 support box, we definitely could go back and tap the 150, 155 range. Let's clean this up a little bit. So let's concentrate on breaking above 180 Satoshis, and then we'll set our sights for 220. And so just because it had a pretty interesting day today, let's go take a look at gold. We were actually watching this live on stream with the Fed rate. So the Fed's cut interest rates by 1/4 percentage point. Looking on the daily though, we basically pretty much just tapped our support box, and we had the dip was a little bit exaggerated. So gold's going to be very interesting here. I've noticed there is a ton of YouTubers that are just like, oh, gold's going through the roof. Yes, I'm bullish on gold long term. But you have to realize, guys, this is not a cryptocurrency. These are not assets that are made to go up 40, 50, 60, 70% a year. They're just not, it's not built like that. Unless you want massive, look at Bitcoin. You go up through the roof, you can fall just as hard, if not harder. Well, gold from about this time last year, you're up. Actually, we can even pull this down because this is September. We're up about 34%. So, if you're looking for gold right now for support and resistances, I'm going to be looking at the 1,480 mark for support. It's that 1,480, 1,485. We have our major support box that starts at about 1,450 and about 1,400. In this range, if you're trying to be bullish in gold, I would probably look to add somewhere here. If we can break below 1,450, it probably won't be a bad area to start adding. But I want to make this known. I know I say this a lot. I don't believe our current administration will allow the stock market to tumble. Whether you want to call it manipulation, just whatever you want to call it. One of the biggest things for this re-election bid is he keeps saying the stock market is at all-time highs. The economy's never been better. I don't think he's physically going to allow the stock market to fall. It would very much hurt his election bid. And in return, unless we get this China-type speculation where it's just this dragged-on uncertainty, then maybe gold can hold on. But you have to realize, guys, the S&P 500 is about 2 points away from all-time highs. All-time highs. So there's no really reason to be extremely bearish on the stock market right now. And gold, in turn, will take a hit. And the fact it's up so much, now granted, if there's still a lot of uncertainty, yeah, gold could definitely keep going back up. But if the stock market keeps pumping, it definitely could. And you have to also understand the dollar is also increasing in value. The greenback, which is the dollar, which is what all the global currencies value against, it's very, very strong. So, once again, you have resistance here at about 1,500 and about 1,510. You have support at 1,485, 1,480. If you break that, you'll have a little bit of last hope. No, I'm sorry, it's not even that high. I will be looking at the 1,450 top of this box. This box could actually be pulled up a little bit to about 1,400. I know that's a big stretch, but we are looking at it on the daily. And honestly, I would probably think about adding maybe somewhere in here. But if it really wants to hit the fan, we could go all the way down to $1,350, 1,380. It's very, very possible. From a market cipher standpoint, you can see the momentum we built today on the bear side, which is the selling pressure. You can see the VWAP had a severe decrease to the downside. If we look here on the 4-hour, still not bad, but you can see the selling pressure is building here. We are turning in the red. If we look here at the 1-hour, honestly, actually, just not looking too bad. There was a little bit of an overreaction from the Fed rate. Let's let the market settle down. Let's see how the dollar does. If the dollar's strong, the gold will suffer. So, but, looking at the shorter time frames, maybe we have a little bit more of a dip. So I would maybe be looking at the 1,450 area. Maybe we get a bounce off there because you're really actually not looking too bad on the shorter time frames, and you actually have a nice little trigger wave here on the 15-minute with your buy signal. So, that does just about does it just about does it for tonight, guys. This is our update once again on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, TRX, and gold. Keep Marcel in your thoughts. Please send good wishes and just positive. You know what to do, guys. It's kind of messed with me. I'm really close to my dogs, but once again, guys, I will see you on the Discord. I have a little bit of work to do tonight. I have to fix the website and stuff. But keep Marcel in your thoughts, and I'll see you on Discord. Thank you, guys.